and welcome to Red Stain Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bryson, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Stevie.
Hello, hello.
And Maddie.
Hi, everyone.
How y'all doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. A lot of gaming today.
Nice.
Awesome to hear.
I'm doing pretty good, except for my chapped lips. I started school, I had to drop a class, pick up two, so it's been kind of messy, but I'm starting to get used to it. I'm starting to calm down.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hectic week. Yeah, getting in the swing of things. Stevie, what games have you been playing?
Oh my god. Me and my friends have diving head first into Outlast Trials.
Yeah.
And
Oh, man.
I will say, as far as someone who likes the co-op gameplay type of games, just in general, if it's got co-op, if it's friend slop, and this one is checking all the boxes. And plus it's got extreme gore situations, which are mostly distasteful, but part of the game is about getting your character desensitized to it, and it feels funny to start to become desensitized to stuff. Anyway,
It's
I would not recommend looking it up. It's pretty gross, but it's pretty fun gameplay if you're into
It is a
Dead
fun
by
game.
Daylight style horror and co-op escaping.
Yeah. And I think it got updated recently, right?
It keeps getting updated is the fun part.
Yeah.
So
it's
seems
grown
like
in popularity
playing
a lot
it now
these past few
versus
months.
a year and a half ago or something. It's now got one William content, and you can play it for hours and hours, and it's pretty scary at some points too. So it's fresh.
Yeah, I've been wanting to jump back into it because I played it at launch, and it was great. A little light on content, but it was great. But now that to see it a little over a year now since launch, I think, or maybe even two, it's got a lot of updates, and I really want to jump back into it. I also keep getting TikToks, so I think that's a sign that I need to jump back in. So if anyone wants to play Outlast Trials, I would love to jump back in. But it's a very good game. Check out Outlast 1 and 2 if you've not played those either.
This is true as well, right?
Yeah,
the games
they're
are all
wonderful.
stellar.
Yeah, totally. But this is episode 29 of Red Stain Radio. We're going to be talking the lore of Taurie Cain and Houndmaster. We haven't had a lore episode in quite some time, and we don't have any news really to talk about. But we're just we're definitely going to jump into some
the
lore.
Doom Course chapter, both of them are so good. I mean, both of them, so I'm biased.
Yeah.
I love Taurie Cain. Houndmaster vibes are awesome. Read both their lore entries today for the first time. I knew a little bit about Taurie beforehand, but she's just cool. And then Houndmaster's just made her even more of a badass than she was before. So I'm excited to get into it. But first, I want some housekeeping. I know some people might turn their brains off during housekeeping, so I'm going to tell you to be very alert here. We're giving away a $30 gift card. The only thing you have to do to possibly win that is to fill out the satisfaction survey in the description of this video or episode. Go if there's a jot form link there, click on it, fill it out. You can enter to win that $30 gift card of a gaming platform of your choice: Steam, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, Epic Games, whatever. We will email the individual who wins this at the end of the month. It will run until the end of January. You have until January 31st. So again, we are giving away a $30 gift card. Fill out the satisfaction survey. It's like eight questions. You'll be done in 5 minutes. I guarantee you it won't take much of your time. So if you're driving, if you're at the gym, if you're cleaning, pull over to the side of the road, put down the weights, whatever, and fill it out now, because we have not gotten that many entries, but I would like to have more, and I want to give back to the community in some way. And so that's why
you're listening to Red Stain Radio. Please tell us how we did this first year.
Yes.
You gotta know.
We love feedback.
We love your comments and feedback.
We had a great solid year. We're already growing this year, and we're starting to get new people in the Discord like regularly now. Like new folks are jumping in there every week. So if you're new, welcome. If you've been from here since day one, thank you. Fill out that survey. We want to give everyone a chance.
Yes.
And you have until the end of January. So don't forget, please.
Yes. I really want to do data survey and to present the data to the group. So please.
Secondly, for housekeeping, the Halloween chapter is leaving on January 18th. You only have a few days as of the release of this episode to get that. So if you do not have Michael or Lori or any of their cosmetics, you might want to go check those out because they're on sale and you can get them at a discounted price. So don't miss out. Go check them out.
Yeah.
Now, on to some light DBD news. Last week during the PTB, 2v8, there were going to be changes to 2v8 that were going to come to the PTB. They were not live when it launched, but they were live. They're actually live now, and I think they end today. But me and Maddie played some of them. We had some impressions of them. I'm not sure if you got a chance, Stevie, or if you even messed around with the PTB, but 2v8 got some changes. Chucky was added. Nemesis got buffs primarily for zombies now, and then in addition, I think they move faster as well.
Yes.
We got some tonics. Those were originally the herbs from the Resident Evil themed 2v8. They're coming back in the form of tonics, so you can remove hook state or you can move faster as killer if you consume those, etc., etc. We have a new survivor class, Torchbearer, that gives you a flashlight and flashbangs, really fun. And we got some updated killer classes. Maddie, I'll jump to you first. What are your impressions with the 2v8 PTB?
Yeah, I could go on and on about it, but I'll keep it on the TLDR. The killer reworks, like the class reworks for the killer, they're fine. I don't really use the classes. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to use the enforcer to apply a mark. Like, I'm not thinking too much about it. It's just kind of like, it's fine. The new survivor class I really like. I love Torchbearer. Super fun. I'm glad they're adding more survivor classes and just more stuff for survivor to do, because my main complaint about 2v8 is that survivor gameplay was basically unchanged, except there's 4 more of you now. So I'm happy they're doing that. Chucky, honestly, I feel like it's kind of weak. Maybe a bit too weak, honestly. Like, it's giving Trapper, and like I feel like he needs a bit more, honestly. Like, dare I say, if we want to be crazy, allow him to scamper under pallets, break the pallets, but make it so it's like the old Chucky, so you could scamper and you're still in your power, so you can prepare the dash instead of just the dash. Like, this is 2v8. Balance is not going to exist. We can have a bit of fun.
And there's a ton of pallets on the map.
Exactly, yeah. And also, he's already kind of hard to control with the turning anyway, especially with the increased rotation speed, so yeah. And Nemi Zombie is funny. I find it really funny there's 4 of them, and they're faster than walking speed, so you have to run away. I like that. I like tonics, and yeah, I'm excited for 2v8. I'm looking forward to it. A bit sad, though, we didn't get new Vecna and Demogorgon. I felt like it was kind of given, but I guess not, sadly. Oh well, maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Maybe
tonics are really cool. I think the models they made the tonics are really cool. They have like their own unique little stand that's made of like
basket kind of.
Yeah, kind of like a basket, and then the tonics you can see like shine. So if you've ever played like an RPG or something and you can see like an item shine in the distance, like shimmer, it just makes me like want to go pick it up, which I love. And they're just really cool. And yeah, you can remove a hook state, or you can get faster, or you can heal. It's really cool. So, and then I played Chucky's in 2v8. My 2 games, I did really well with them. Granted, I played a lot of Survivor as well against Chucky's, and not a lot of pressure with Chucky. I guess it's just going to come down to skill.
Yeah.
And the Nemi buffs definitely felt the 4 zombies much more this time around. And the Torchbearer Survivor class, that one being new is a lot of fun. I ran it exclusively in this PTB, and it was a blast. It was a blast. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
So.
This is all making me want to play 2v8.
Yeah.
I'm not a big 2v8 fan, but this is making me sound like, okay.
Oh my god,
a less
great.
oppressive killer gets added, so it's a little easier to play Survivor. You get all the tonics now, which was my favorite thing from one of the past 2v8s, the Resident Evil one. They're just reskinned herbs, which was the intention because everyone loved the herbs and they wanted a way to bring them back without, the license.
Yeah.
Even Resident Evil copyrighted plants.
Yeah, those are herbs.
They had to come up with tonics.
You have to call them HRBS.
I will be hopping on 2v8 when it comes live. I missed the release of it on PTB. I downloaded the PTB, looked at Vecna, and then uninstalled it because 2v8 wasn't being tested then. When it comes out, I am playing it, especially for the Taurie Cain outfit. Especially for the new class on Survivor. Free flashbangs. That's easy. That's fully
and
the
a free
killer.
flashlight. Yes, it is. It is. It is probably the most excited I am for the next iteration of 2v8 than I have in a while, because the last couple haven't had much iteration, just new killers, and so I'm excited to see it have some change. once. So
Yeah.
and then finally, last little bit of news: we're getting a new chapter, kinda,
Chapter.
paragraph, sentence, whatever you want to call it, in March. We know we're at least getting a new realm,
Yes.
aka a map,
Okay.
and maybe a new survivor. They said they might cancel it depending on timelines and if they need to shift timelines or free up time for anniversary stuff probably down the line. But this is the last content drop before anniversary that we know of,
Yes.
other
Yes.
than events. But in terms of chapter and content stuff, your last character wise will likely be Stranger Things. And there have been some leaks about this, so be careful out there if you don't want to be spoiled. We won't discuss them here. But any thoughts here, Manny, on our new survivor potentially? I know it would kind of be a bummer if it was canceled.
Okay. I actually have thoughts. It's looking like I was saying, like a lot of people. Oh, it could be this person, this person, this person. It's probably going to be someone I didn't even think even existed, which is going to be the Oni's dad as the survivor. Because if you don't know, in the game right now with the tomes, we had Evan, aka Trapper, and now we have. Oh God, I don't want to say Renjiro. I don't think his name is.
You're
Renjiro.
right. It's
sorry?
Renjiro.
Oh, it is Renjiro. Okay, so we have Renjiro.
You got it right.
Oh God, last name. It's not. What's their last name?
Yamaoka?
Yamaoka.
He's
Thank you.
still
Renjiro.
Yamaoka.
It's his name's Renjiro Yamaoka. He is the Oni's father, and his lore is pretty interesting. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't remember the Oni lore, but I think the Oni lore he killed his dad, so that's gonna be kind of funky if he is a survivor.
Oh.
But it's kind of interesting. They're picking this character who's not like really major in the lore, like major in the lore. Like he was kind of important in the Oni. So if he does get picked as the new survivor and we get him, it'll be kind of cool because we have the first of the Yamaoka bloodline. Then we has his son who's evil, and then he has his great granddaughter who's also evil. Take away a grade or two, or maybe add one. But yeah, that would be really interesting. But my only reason why I think this new survivor is him is because they're putting a lot of focus on a random character we didn't know about till now. Like, it would make sense if they focused a bit more on Oni too, but from what I've read so far, it's mostly on Renjiro, so it's like it's probably him.
Yeah. So you think the new map will have some connection to the character, or
Absolutely not, because
really
it's new realms, and we already have the Yamako estate realm with the little mountain area and the estate. I think this is going to be a lighthouse map, because they said, oh, this is going to be a new really cool realm. People are going to love it. We never had a seaside one, so I feel like that would be cool. But also, looking at some of the rewards we're going to be getting for a game mode coming in the future, I think it's 2v8, is going to have some interesting rewards that kind of hint at this sort of lighthouse theme. We need to put spoilers before I say that, hopefully. Like, big spoilers, guys. But yeah, it's like we're getting like Cthulhu themed stuff, so that'd be kind of fun.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Yeah, we didn't get a lighthouse with Alan Wake, so
exactly. So now we can have
I want a dark and stormy map. I want it raining. I want it thundering.
And speaking with the lore episode today, it was kind of, we don't have a seaside map like Maddie mentioned.
So right.
No map.
So that would be great with Houndmaster and all these other kind of seaside characters and lighthouse related characters.
Exactly.
Ooh,
So
I want to
really
play like Sea Monster Hag on that map. I don't want to play Hag. That's not true. I don't want to play Hag.
Or you could play Crustacean Dredge.
yes,
Dredge.
finally, the underwater fathoms or whatever it's called, Skinline, can finally have a map accurate plays. And
Do you think
hooked on you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think we'll get any hooked on you Easter eggs in the map?
Oh my god, I
That'd
would
be
love
kinda
a hooked on you Trapper skin or Rave, because we have one for the girls, but none
yeah,
for the
we
guys.
don't have either of those.
No,
Yeah,
I think Trickster has
We
one.
need
actually.
those.
Hold on,
He
I think
does. He
Trickster
does.
has
He
one.
does.
Oh, okay.
So we have Trickster,
What
the girl,
Wraith in shorts though? Wraith in of low pool
and
trunks?
like a little top. Like, that'd be so cunty.
But also, have you seen Trapper in that swimsuit? Like,
That
yes,
one piece.
please.
Yeah.
I need to play Hooked on You. I haven't played that yet.
Yes,
maybe
I played
we'll
it.
stream
Very
that.
fun. Very, very. What's the word? Raunchy.
It is.
Very stupid fun. It's very stupid fun. I really liked it.
I should check it out then. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll stream it or put it up on the YouTube channel.
Oh my
while I do it.
god!
That'd
You
be
got
cool.
a Jake outfit and a little hook, so
Ooh, okay. I'll check it out then.
Oh.
I'll check it out. Coming
Yeah.
soon. No promises though, listeners. With that, let's get to the topic of the show, and I'm going to hand it over to Maddie, our resident lore expert, to
Lore
guide us
keeper.
through the lore keeper is a perfect title for that.
I
I
love
will use that in the
Oh
future.
my god.
For Taurie Cain and the Houndmaster, Maddie, take it away.
Alrighty, so if you guys don't know, Taurie Cain and the Houndmaster, aka the notes are everywhere, Portia and May, came out as the 34th chapter Doomed Course, which released on November 28th of 2024. So about a year ago, roughly, like a little
Yeah,
over a
on
year.
Thanksgiving, on American Thanksgiving. It was
On
weird.
American Thanksgiving, yeah. Not me. I'm Canadian. Yeah, for the American Thanksgiving folk, you got Taurie Cain and Portia May, aka the Houndmaster. So before we dive into their lore, I just wanted to know, what did you guys think of these characters when you first saw them? Not like right now, but when you first saw them.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Stevie.
I when they first got released, it was like a teaser with the dog chasing, and I had known that a dog power was, teased and scrapped and almost dropped at one point earlier. And the fact that it came out eventually, I was so excited. I was like, I want the companion killer. I want it to work properly. I want it to feel responsive. So like, I wanted everything out of the dog when I first saw it, and I didn't care who the other survivor was at the moment. It amazes me that I found a chapter where I like both, but on release, I was not expecting to like both as much as I did. I was there for the dog, 100%.
Yeah,
First
I
impression.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember much about my impressions. I just remember it being a dog just had me sold. Like, of course, like I'm totally in for this. And yeah, and then Taurie Cain is just we didn't really know much from the beginning, but over the time we've had with her, I've learned so much about her, and also just her visual look is so distinct from any other survivors. I would argue, maybe since Sable, in terms of like her being just really unique and distinct, and she's got these tattoos, and she's
Like the prayer bee.
yeah, she's got a unique nationality to her. She's I'm Irish, Scottish. Okay, sorry, excuse me, Scottish,
Taurie
which is really
Cain
cool
from Glasgow.
which is just amazing. Like they both have just a very cool, distinct style, regardless of what you think of their powers or their perks or whatever. Very cool chapter. Like I think it's just a really well done, visually. I'm speaking done chapter, and then even lore wise, based on what I read earlier today, is just really interesting.
I love the lore. I love this lore so much. Versus the last lore where I was like, I hate the tome. I hate Saw tome. It's ass. It's ass. This lore, mwah, mwah.
This is
it's so good.
concise. It
So
feels
good. I could not even like change maybe one thing in it. Like everything is so good. I love the Houndmaster's lore. I love her tale of revenge, and I love just. I love Taurie Cain. I love them both. I love the interlore connections. But if we're talking about first impressions, I really liked the Houndmaster more than Taurie. I'm sorry, Taurie. At first, I was like, okay, she's kind of evil, but she's bald, I guess. But like my attention was on her because she just had this aura, this presence that I'm not gonna lie, I really liked her at first. Keyword is at first because sadly her gameplay was very buggy. So I was like, oh, because her dog kept like clipping through stuff. It kept getting stuck in like the air.
Still buggy. Still very buggy.
Yeah, I want to like Houndmaster more gameplay wise. Sadly, not much. I love her lore design though. Probably one of, if not the best we have in the game. Sorry, not sorry, guys. I love her lore so much. I love her tale of revenge and kind of like the little story about, because she kind of reminds me of the Oni, who also has an amazing story. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So without further ado, let's actually delve into the first of two characters, which is, as I was just describing, the Houndmaster, aka Portia May. What's really
Maddie, I want to correct you real quick. She's
Portia.
Portia.
Thank you.
Portia May.
Thank you. I'm gonna mess up so many pronunciations.
I'm pretty sure it's May.
So I'm so sorry, listeners. Like I'm gonna say like a Scottish name totally wrong. I'm so sorry, and I'm gonna say Caribbean names not very great. So that's just a heads up.
French.
French.
I don't know. Anyway.
Well, Portia May, aka the Houndmaster. She was very interesting on release, given her really buggy power, but it's also really interesting because whereas the twins, you basically control both of them and you kind of deal with Snug. Snug is mostly just following you around, and you can even pet him, which is super cute. And it's just really unique for like a projectile killer because let's be honest, she's technically a projectile killer, even though she doesn't throw something. She kind of just sends her dog at you. But it's really interesting because it was one of the many cases where behavior said they were never going to do something and then did it. Because long ago, like before the clown came out, they said we're never going to do clowns. And then they released the killer called the clown. And they also said they would never do a religious themed killer. And then we got the plague, who is very religious in her looks because she was a priestess. So it was really interesting because they said, hey, we don't want to do any dog based killers because we don't want to like antagonize certain breeds of dogs. They even changed a cosmetic for Jeff a few years back,
Yeah.
which had a pit bull, I believe, on his shirt, and it looked very aggressive, and people didn't like it mainly because pit bulls are always portrayed as like very aggressive, and there are cases with pit bulls being very aggressive, but it's very like a sensitive topic, I would say. And eventually they just ended up changing it to a completely different dog, and it was a lot more colorful and a lot more
And
Jeff.
they also added lore for like, oh, Jeff helps rescue dogs.
Exactly. And he also
Mhm.
had like kind of a dog. I don't think he technically had a dog in his lore. It was more of a stray, but like it was so sweet. And the end, oh my god, the dog. But we're not here to talk about Jeff and his dog. We're here to talk about Paisha May, the Houndmaster.
Portia.
So, Portia May, Paisha May. Oh my god. My English is ruined. Oh my god. So again, listeners, I'm gonna mix up pronunciations. So sorry.
You can
But
mess up.
before we get into her lore, the Houndmaster, let's talk about kind of like her design, her power, and just kind of like the vibes we have of her right now. Because most blah blah blah. For the most point, I really like her. My only complaint is that she's a pirate and she doesn't scream pirate for me. And obviously pirates don't look
Yeah.
the same, but like I would have loved like a peg leg, a hook, or even just like a hat with a feather in it. I think that would have slayed so hard. But sadly, we didn't get that, and we didn't really get a cosmetic that did that either. However, I will say I do really like her look if we don't consider the pirate background. I really like how striking her like silhouette is because for character design, you want to see a silhouette that even if blacked out, you can immediately recognize. And with her hairdo and her clothing and those boots that she always got her legs are like slightly apart with this really like dominating stance, I really like it. She screams power, authority, and she's gonna fuck you up. Love her so much, especially since she's a captain. But I really wish there were a few more pirate elements, just a few, please. But I'm gonna pass
Yeah.
it on to you, Bryson. What do you think of the Houndmaster?
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you there. If you look at her, you would not guess pirate.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at her power, you wouldn't guess pirate. Like,
Mhm.
why does this pirate killer have a dog? That's just not something that was a thing. But I think behavior really always subverts expectations when it comes to killers. And so
Exactly.
I commend them for that,
Exactly.
going a direction that was very unique and very much their kind of style. Totally down for that. I also think that maybe they waited for the traditional pirate look for maybe a future collab, maybe a future
Mhm.
chapter, maybe a Pirates of the Caribbean chapter. That would be
Disney.
awesome.
Oh.
Listen to me, behavior. This will print you money. But yeah, no, you're totally right though. Her vibe is just really cool. Her voice lines are amazing to
Oh my
both her
god, we're gonna be
commands with
talking about that.
Snug
We're gonna be talking about
to when
that.
she's interacting with other survivors or she's mooring them. Like it is, and her mooring is really good too, by the way.
Yes,
Like
so
she just fucking
brutal.
stomps on your head with her heels. Like what a bad bitch. Like she is amazing. But yeah, her style is very cool. We got a new cosmetic. We were just talking, Stevie and I, before the shows. She got a new cosmetic today that is really good. Kind of like a dominatrix kind of look, similar to the one the BDSM riff we got last year.
Yes.
Very cool, very cool look. And I wish we had more skins for the dogs. I know they did that once. We have not gotten any since then, but I would love more.
Yeah, it's probably 'cause-
Unfortunate.
Oh, sorry. Continue, Stevie. Continue.
No,
Sorry.
it's unfortunate because they claimed it was like a bad like decision. Like not enough people bought the skin,
Yeah.
especially on release, and it's like it was one of the most expensive skins immediately for a new character that people needed some time to grow on. But now I
They
think
also
they should revisit that.
it also didn't help that they released her in a really kind of buggy state, like with Snug.
Yeah,
You know,
kind of buggy.
he's
Was
still kind of
buggy.
bugged. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
still is kind of
Oh.
bugged. Like she could use some quality of life things
Mhm.
to make her more enjoyable to play.
Exactly. Exactly. Any more thoughts, Stevie Bryson, before we delve into her lore? Which sadly we only have her backstory, which is amazing, but I wish there was more. Like I just like
Yeah,
more lore.
yeah, I would just love a rift for both Tori and
Yes.
the Houndmaster. They have not gotten a lot of love since release,
Yeah.
probably because it may have not have sold as well as they had hoped, like Stevie just mentioned. So I don't know. I love the next tome. We're getting one when Stranger Things launches, I think.
We
Little
are,
Adam.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
I'm
And we
being
don't.
patient, Bear, though. I
Yeah.
don't think that there's going to be a Tory Houndmaster rift for a while, but I
Oh,
think
sad.
they should get one together. I think they should.
Yes.
And if one comes, I will be the most happy person.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a little bit like contrarian in my opinion of them, in that I like them so much, and I think that the people who have criticisms of them are wrong. Is how I am at this point. I think the Houndmaster is priority enough. I love it, and I
Okay.
love that Tori's bald. As soon as like she showed up
Me
on
too.
like on frame, I was like,
I'm
we
like,
can play
okay,
the bald.
great. Okay.
And now they've
She just
just
strikes so.
released hair
Go ahead. Sorry.
hair headsets for her. They've never
Yeah.
revisited the bald head except when she released. So I'm curious for everything they do after her. I'm curious for everything Houndmaster has coming for her, and I hope they please revisit her, fix bugs, add more skins, add a rift, and
Yeah.
I
All
will
the
wait
above.
patiently and play them.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree that they should be together because, in my opinion, my favorite chapters are when the killer and survivor have a clear theme and kind of like contrast each other. My favorite example of this is Yui Kimura and the Oni because they kind of both represent like passion and revenge, whereas Yui chose to ignore that and embrace her own tradition of bike racing, whereas the Oni was like, I'm going to be a samurai, and basically took out his anger on everyone else. And it's just, I love the contrast where Yui's like, I'm going to ignore my family. I'm going to do my own passion versus the Oni who's like, I'm going to do my family and my passion, even if it's making me literally go mad. And it's like, yes, I love this. On a worse note, there is Ace and Hag, which is just luck. And I have so many words about them, but that's not about that. This is about the Houndmaster and our girl Taurie Cain, where I would say it's kind of familiar to Yui Kimura and the Oni, where Doomed Legacy chapter, we can just say that. It's kind of similar to Cursed Legacy, not Doomed Legacy. Oh my god, the chapter names are mixing it. It's kind of similar to Cursed Legacy, where it's kind of about this theme of like devotion and revenge and family. But I would feel like for this one, where for Cursed Legacy, it was more about like family tradition and following your own path. This one's more focused on, I would say, pure devotion. Kind of similar to the Plague, but a little less religious. For the Houndmaster, Taurie is very religious. To
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah.
But
Houndmaster is
it's
very much like focused on family and
exactly
revenge, but devoted to that.
exactly like devoted to a cause or devoted to people or a way of thinking. And I feel like the way these two kind of contrast is really interesting because not to spoil too much, whereas Tori, even though she's gone through her whole life thinking one specific way, this is how things should be, she still hesitates, she still has a crumb of decency. Whereas with the Houndmaster, her mind has been slowly corroding due to the influence of the entity, and whether or not it's entirely the entity or only a little bit, she never like tries to resist it. She gives in. She never hesitates. And I think that's a really interesting contrast between these two characters. Now, it's time for story time, ladies. It's time to look at the lore of the Houndmaster, aka Portia May. I hope I said that right.
You did, and this one's brutal. I love
Yeah,
this
this
one.
one is a very dark tale, ladies. So, lock it. Mm-hmm. Portia May's father helped found a prosperous settlement of sailors and merchants on an uncharted island in the Caribbean. They called their port town Fortune and created a vast trading network which exposed Portia to cultures and knowledge from around the world. As a sailor and a lover of stories, Portia's father read her the Arabian Nights, Shakespeare, and Greek mythology, and he instructed her in sailing and celestial navigation. To be sure, he instilled within her a love for adventure so that she always wanted to travel with him. Once she accompanied her father on a trip to Italy, where he had traded sugar and silver for rare silks and spices. There, they also acquired a litter of Corso puppies, which her father said they would train as hunting dogs for Fortune's yearly hunting games. He also mentioned she should keep the strongest of the litter for her upcoming 12th birthday. She named the pups Caesar, King, Shaw, Athena, and the runt of the bunch, Snug. But before she could begin their training, a violent storm pushed Knight's Dream off course into an area controlled by freebooters. Desperately, her father tried to steer the ship to safety, but the dreaded Mad Moloch attacked them with his ships and took Knight's Dream quickly. Those who survived the initial attack were pitted against each other in vicious fights that Moloch and his crew would wager on. The brigand promised that the last man standing would be let go. When Portia's father refused to participate, the most vicious of Moloch's men, his son, Tarek, tortured him for hours and finally slit his throat. Keeping Portia alive to get past Fortune's outer defenses, Moloch and Tarek returned to their sloop and left a skeleton crew on Knight's Dream. Portia would lead them into Fortune and, once inside, Moloch and his raiders would attack, pillage, and burn their beloved town to the ground. Using her skills in celestial navigation, Portia led them off course through an area that many claimed to be cursed. Known as the Dragon's Tooth, some believed the area bled into the dark malignant domain of some ineffable evil where monsters roamed. Portia hoped to lead Moloch to his doom, and if she perished in the effort, so be it. As she approached the Dragon's Tooth, dark clouds accumulated, and a cold black fog surrounded them. Sheets of rain fell, and a fierce wind roared down on the ship, creating black mountains that crashed over the mast. Instantly, Moloch and his ship turned away from the storm and left her to perish. But Portia refused to surrender as Knight's Dream plowed through the thick fog and lightning. Her heart thundered in her chest as the ship creaked and groaned and slowly capsized. The last thing she saw before the ocean swallowed her whole was the silhouette of a giant tentacle crashing down on them. Portia opened her blurry eyes to see Snug staring down at her. He licked her face and barked for her to get up. Blinking the salt water out of her eyes, she pushed her aching and bruised body from the ground, but collapsed onto the strange purple sand. She had never seen anything like it before. With difficulty, she gathered herself, stood, and turned to face the runt. Snug barked twice and began sniffing the ground, leading her to a cluster of coconuts and purple seaweed. She dried out the seaweed, cracked the coconuts, and ate on the rocks, quietly listening to creatures she had never heard before and suddenly realized they were marooned on an island in the Dragon's Tooth. They were in a strange world, an in-between world, a world her father had once described as a living nightmare that tortured the mind and played with the heart. And as she listened to these strange new sounds, she suddenly saw Moloch everywhere. Instinctively, Portia closed her eyes and shrieked and only stopped when Snug jumped into her lap, returning her to the moment with a crescendo of barks. Over the years, Portia survived on whatever washed ashore as she battled the predators that stalked the island. Ferocious animals, vicious humans, and savage abominations not of this world. Snug now weighed over 100 pounds and followed Portia everywhere. Together, they made a daunting pair, and most of the survivors on the island kept their distance. The few who didn't lived to regret it if they lived at all. And just when she was about to give up on the idea of escaping, she spotted an impossible thing while searching the beach for Snug. To her disbelief, she saw Knight's Dream drifting offshore in the cold black fog. She knew better than to doubt or question anything on this island. With a whistle, she entered the water, but was suddenly attacked by a group of castaways. In her mind, she slaughtered Moloch 50 times and spared only those she needed to crew her ship. Together, they spent days searching for Snug, but he was nowhere to be found. He was gone. Gone as if he had never been, as if he had only been a figment of her imagination. For decades, Portia had terrorized the Caribbean as she searched for Moloch. She only attacked freebooters, taking their gold and torturing them statistically to satiate some intangible darkness living within her. A darkness like a parasite that demanded blood until it had its fill. On the occasions Portia couldn't appease its hunger, the parasite would squeeze her mind with its deadly talons, crushing reason and reality until she would see Moloch's face on every crew member. She would attack and butcher everyone and anyone until one of her many trusted guard dogs barked for her to stop, and Moloch would suddenly dematerialize into wisps of black fog. Terrified, the crew knew it was just a matter of time before her madness turned against them. And so, even when they finally located Moloch, they conspired to mutiny. They had underestimated their captain. By the time Portia was through with them, there was only 5 left standing in a pool of blood and gore. They instantly threw themselves on her mercy as her dogs surrounded them, waiting for the kill command that never came. Destroying Moloch would take more hands than she possessed. Gathering her wits, she ordered the mutineers to clean up the deck and feed her dogs as she steered night stream toward Mad Moloch's island. Moloch himself was out on the high seas, but Portia's crew captured Tarek and locked him up in preparation for his father's return. When Moloch returned, he found the island deserted, apart from a woman offering chests of gold and jewels. She claimed she wanted to join Moloch's crew and had prepared an amazing feast for him and his men. Not recognizing her, Moloch accepted the treasure and asked about Tarek. She smiled and assured him his son would be joining them for dinner. Portia served Moloch an elaborate meal, and he drank and ate with gusto. The meat was especially good, roasted crisp and black on the outside and pink and juicy on the inside. He wanted to know if it was wild boar or venison. Portia smiled, stood proudly, and reached over the table and lifted a golden food cover to reveal Tarek's decapitated glazed head, frozen in a scream of terror, the mouth vomiting bullion and jewels. Moloch roared his anguish like a wounded bull, and she reveled in his torment as a thick black fog rose from the floor like a black veil. But before she could strike Moloch down, something unseen jerked him backward into the darkness. At once her laughter died, lips curled with mingled panic and rage. Veins in her neck stood out in livid ridges. Talons gripped her mind and squeezed and refused to let go. He was gone. Gone. Gone before she could stomp his head into a bloody pulp. Unintelligible words fumbled out of her mouth and degenerated into a guttural rasp. And just as she was about to scream, she heard the impossible. A bark. A bark she hadn't heard in years. She heard it again and again. Snug, he had Moloch's scent. Not trying to understand what cannot be understood, she charged into the fog to finish what she had started with her long-lost friend. And that's the lore of the Houndmaster, all that we have.
Crazy,
The
crazy
fact
story.
that that's all we have, but it's her entire backstory, and it says so much
Exactly.
about the world, about what's capable, like what you can do with your mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's great. It's a
She's
story of
amazing.
revenge and a brutal, gory story for her background.
Absolutely. And like you can't help but feel bad for everything that's happened to her. She's like, "Oh my god, my dad's awesome. He made this island. He's got like all this stuff for me. I'm like got a puppy. It's awesome." And then one bad day led to her dad dying, her entire island being destroyed, and then getting lost on an evil island full of monsters from the entity's realm, maybe question mark, with her
Yeah,
dog who might have
that's something I
died.
have a question about.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
just oh sorry.
no, I was
Yeah,
just
go
saying there's
for
a
it.
lot of tidbits here that we could like pull
Very.
from. Like,
I want to talk about a couple of them. What jumps out to y'all? Because it's fun to
well,
talk about specific things.
a big one for me is like the world that she is from seems to have been either, we're not really sure because black fog comes up a lot
Yeah.
throughout it, so perhaps the entity has more influence in this realm or parts of this world than maybe we are than we know. Like there's a whole island or area called the Dragon's Tooth that seems to be influenced. There's a mention of a giant tentacle taking down her ship. So maybe there's a kraken or a giant squid potentially. Like there's a lot of fantastical elements in this story that I really love and dig, and I think even adds more color to her backstory.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to remember that a lot of these survivors and killers don't come from one world. They come from different worlds, like different planets, different universes. Because, like in Legion's case, Hillbilly is a movie. Like the character Hillbilly in the game is a movie character to the cast of
Hilarious.
Legion. So, like, this could be a world where the entity has more influence because of all these different bleeds. Which, if you don't know, we're going to be talking about soon-ish, kind of, when we're talking about Tori
But
and
this
Taurie.
is a good intro to that type of thing where you have it's a
Yeah,
whole island, and as soon as you get close to it, something like a storm pulls you in, and something like a tentacle changes what world you're in, and
exactly.
things are creeping that
It's
always
not
kind of
necessarily the tentacle, it's more
no,
so
yeah.
bleeds. Okay, for the people who don't know, bleeds were introduced in Hattie Core's entry because she's psychic, and basically they're locations in the normal worlds where the entity's influence is strongest, and it's sort of where the entity's realm bleeds, haha, into our world a bit, and it's kind of these paranormal areas which are mainly caused by areas of intense grief, sorrow, and negative emotions. So an example of this be in the casting of Frank Stone at the murder mill where a bunch of people died. That would be an example of a bleed. And another example would be the island in Dragon's Tooth, where for some
Hmm.
reason, which we don't know, which is a shame, I would love lore in the Houndmaster's world of why there's
Content
this
for her
gigantic
rift.
island-sized bleed. Because every other bleed is like a building, a location. This is a whole ass island. Like, what the fuck happened here of such
Yeah,
great sorrow that caused that?
with with it being a pirate story, I would infer that maybe the area is prone to shipwrecks, and a lot of
Ooh,
people are, because there's other survivors on the island, as
exactly, yeah.
mentioned, and a lot of people keep her distance, who were smart at least. So maybe this is just an area that is like in any pirate
Mhm,
media, you will find there's usually an area that has a lot of shipwrecks and
mhm.
graveyards. So maybe that is the case here, but who knows? But it even adds, it just it just kind of adds to that intensity of her backstory.
Yeah, and something else I really like about the story is the sorrow slash kind of like awful feeling you get seeing the Hellmaster slowly kind of like descend into madness a bit. Because if you don't know, she's maybe a victim of white eyes in the lore. Which, if you don't know, there's the white eyes theory, which is a theory by the community where killers with white eyes, specifically like white pupils, are being influenced by the entity to not see the actual survivors, but people they despise most. So an example of this would be the spirit who has white eyes. She would be seeing her father. With Deathslinger, he's seeing the sheriff and the deputies who put him in jail and ruined his crew and took it as a vengeance. And for the Houndmaster, she would most likely be seeing Molak, maybe his crew, and Tarek. So yeah, I feel really bad for her because she's like, she is not a great person, but she's not an awful person, if that makes sense. Like, Houndmaster did kill people. Not great. Not at all. However, we see in the lore she's not going for everybody. She's not like killing children.
Yeah.
She's going for specifically pirates who are kind of like freebooters. So, with that said, she's not awful, but she's bad, you know. Like, she's a bad bitch, but not a bad bitch, you know.
And there's
Well,
Yeah.
definitely a world like
yeah.
there's definitely universes in DBD, one where she didn't have to go into the dragon's tooth or could have turned around and lived.
Mhm.
And at that point she maybe killed no one, killed a couple people to save
Yeah.
her life.
Yeah.
But before she got in, she was kind of just running. And then at
Mhm.
that point she starts chasing once she's in the purple sanded beach wherever that is. I
Mhm.
want that as a trial. I want the new lighthouse
That would
map to
be
have purple
cool.
sand.
Yeah, and
That'd be
maybe she has like an
awesome.
intro dialogue being like, "I remember this place." That would be so cool. And also, I want to see the other dogs because we only have two. We have Snug, and oh god, I can't remember the other one's name. It's
Yeah, what
not
did they name
Athena.
the
The
poodle?
poodle.
The
Yeah.
poodle.
What is the
I
poodle
believe
named?
the poodle. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that is Shaw.
Shaw.
That's
Okay.
Shah.
but I
Shaw.
thought that okay. I was interested to see if they were all Corsos
They're in the
because if
lore. It
they're
says they're all Corsos, but then the
Yeah, in the
prosthetics are
lore.
poodles. Was like,
Yeah, maybe some inconsistencies there. I'm
mhm.
curious regarding Snug. So she does
right.
not leave the island with Snug. So then
No,
does that mean the entity takes Snug then?
I think
Or is
so.
Snug maybe a
I like to
manifestation?
believe that every single dog that is named there was probably still on the boat when it got chased and captured
Mhm.
and led away, and then the Moloch's boat is kind of holding them at cannon point, gun point, as they
Yeah.
try to bring them back. She leads them astray. They run away. She drives the whole boat of dogs and her into the fog, and that's kind
Okay.
of all
Yeah.
all 6 dogs, all 5 dogs. Yeah,
Yes.
all 5 dogs and her get sucked into the fog, and the only one that she can, I guess, materialize or manifest, or one that
Or
is
the entity
stuck on
gives
the
her.
island. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
a
think
lot of
Snoke
like
chose to
what ifs
leave
and
or
like kind
could
of
leave or exists outside of the entity's realm.
it's very much like a twin situation where like if spoiler alert for the twins lore, they're the two twins, Charlotte and Victor. Charlotte's the tall one, Victor's the little creepy baby. Victor dies near the end of his story, but then he shows up near the fog, and then you get to play as him. So it might just be like that. Maybe the dog died before he even got on the island,
Oh, okay.
and the entity made a fake version because the entity can literally make whatever it wants.
Yeah.
So it could be that he made Snug a puppy and then made it grow up, and as soon as she left the island, she's like, "Oh, I can't keep you here anymore. Besides making you go a little crazy, so I'm just gonna take your dog away and make you go crazier." How about that? Your one mental connection, mental stability, little support is gone. Become evil. Join
And plus,
me.
yeah, while you're outside in the real world trying to achieve your goals, I am going to thwart you and be in your mind. I am the evil entity.
Goo gaga. I'm gonna make you go crazy.
I also love the detail, which I guess would even further push the white eyes theory in that she would go into those fits of rage with people's faces turning into Molax.
Exactly.
With the fog, the entity very much corrupting her deeper and deeper, and really honing her into the killer that we see in DBD now.
If I
which
was diagnosing it, I would say yes, almost definitely. It's kind of them kind of hinting at it and then making another killer that is affected by this. And I like that it's a specific manifestation of the entity's curse. Like, it's one specific tactic that it's developed for its own survival to make somebody go a little crazier.
Yeah, because the entity at the end of the day, it just wants to feed on intense, strong emotions. And sadly for us and all the people in the trials, its favorite emotions and the ones that's easiest to get is of sorrow, grief, fear, death. So it's just going to be like, okay, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, go mad, join me, or be murdered. I don't care. I want my yum yums. I want my food. Feed me. Feed me.
And I think another bit of that too is there's hope as well as one of the strong ones. This is how the survivors kind of get out and kind of give more feelings to the entity, and it's not a net negative when they escape.
Exactly.
But for something like a killer, hope is still present, and especially human killers, the ones that are more monstrous or something, have lost all hope and concern for human life. But Portia still needs to be twisted. She still has the hope that she can get this one final kill and satisfy her bloodlust for Moloch by killing Moloch, and the entity doesn't let her have that either. So it's still using that, even though she got so close, she still hopes she can do it.
Exactly. It's like figuratively like waving a not a treat, but like it's like the reward that she so desperately wanted to kill Moloch over her head, being like, "You can get this. You're so close. There he is. It's him. This is actually him this time." And then when she kills them, it's like, you fell for
that
it.
was Meg. You got
so crazy.
I treat you exactly. So it's just.
Do you think we'll see Moloch in DBD in another version of or another area, like maybe in future lore? Maybe he comes in as another killer. That'd be kind of cool.
He's an asshole in someone else's backstory too.
Yeah. Because I know there's a lot of intersection with like certain characters.
Yeah, I will say I would not be surprised if they added characters like Spirit's dad or Moloch as playable characters. Because at first I was like, they're never going to add a survivor who's like objectively a horrible person. Like Spirit's dad just straight up killed her and his mom and her mom, and Moloch, we just talked about what he did. But also, we have a character called Jonah, who, in his lore, somewhat helps an entire city get bombed. So it's like he felt bad.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, didn't mean to do that." But it's also like
didn't mean to do that.
A higher kill count than some of the killers. I was gonna say
Yeah.
like Rafe, but then I realized Rafe probably killed a lot of people without knowing it.
I mean, Lara Croft has probably killed tons
Oh
more
yeah, yeah,
than
no.
any other survivor.
She's killed
I
more
mean,
people than like Kaneki.
great. I mean, granted, somewhat defending herself, but still.
Yeah, you get the point. Like, I would not be surprised if they add them for survivors. I personally don't want Spirits to have a survivor because I feel like he's always given like abusive vibes even before the entity made him go bad. But we're not going to talk about him.
Yeah,
That's
like
never
I
episode for
don't think
another
people would
day.
want to play them too, so it's a tough choice
Yeah, it's like, I
to
don't want to play
release
an
them.
abuser. I don't want to play an abuser.
I mean, I've seen people say
can
they
see
don't
why
want to play
Joan-
Tori because she
Yeah.
almost killed. And spoiler for her lore, I guess. In a second.
She's a villain. She's evil.
Yeah, but Tori almost killed a specific character's sibling.
I will say though, we'll be talking about her very soon, but I'm going to say this right now. She is not a villain. She's not evil. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about that.
evil.
I disagree. But back
Heavily
to the Houndmaster.
influenced and molded, for sure.
Back to the Houndmaster. I really like her. I really love her lore. My only complaint is that lore-wise, I want more. It's like they gave me like poop burgers, and then they gave me this deluxe crisp lettuce, beautiful melted cheddar cheese, thick beef patty, not undercooked or overcooked. It's perfect. And then I take one bite and they rip it out of my hands, and I'm like, "What the fuck? I want more." And they're like, "Wait 2 years." I'm like,
It's so true though.
like, I want my burger. I want my lore. Like, I literally take anything. Like, the cosmetic lore is not lore. That is, like, tidbits. It's like they give me a single deluxe french fry. I take a bite, and then they pluck the fucking french fry in my hand. Like, I need more.
I've always said this.
Mhm.
I will probably always say this for the rest of my life. There is not enough pirate media. There aren't enough pirate movies, games, books. There aren't enough of them. This just gives you a taste of it in DVD. And like you said, Maddie, I want as much as you can give me. Like, give me a goddamn tome with this shit. Like, I want a novel. Give me 1,000 pages. I'll read it all because this stuff is compelling as hell.
You know what
And
I would really like?
I want to live in this world. No, go ahead.
I would really like, I know this won't happen, but I would so fuck with a Telltale series game where each episode follows a different lore character, like survivor or killer, and you get to like influence kind of their story. Obviously, it wouldn't be like the penultimate part of their story, so like you wouldn't be playing as like the Houndmaster, like torturing Turek and stuff, but it would be like maybe like when she's on the island, you kind of get to shape if she's more sympathetic or more cruel and cold. But like, I think that would fuck. That would fuck so hard. Come on. Like, I know Casting Frank Stone didn't do well, but like Telltale series episodes, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
or better,
a lot of
better or not. You get the saying. I would love a Dead by Daylight like animated TV series, like short, like 20-minute episode following each character a day in their life. Like, maybe we could see like the doctor conducting one of his experiments, or maybe we could follow Jake living in the wilderness trying to not think about his rich asshole parents. Like, come on.
I think animated indie horror is a niche that we can kind of see Dead by Daylight in, because we know how fucking tasty these characters are, how dripping with atmosphere the game kind of creates itself in. And I think using that, like just using the game, please give us more lore in like bite-sized consumable chunks. I want more bites of the burger.
Like, we got like some really good lore, well, not really good, but we got some lore in the form of the First Kill series, which I don't think really picked off, because I think after like 2 or 3 episodes they stopped, which is a shame. But it's also kind of like they're giving us hints of like, oh, this is really good lore, and then they just don't do anything else. Like, they talked about, I can't remember who the first one was, I think it was the Huntress, about her first kill. It followed each killer's killing the first person ever. I thought that was really cool. But it was just words and like some sound effects, and it's like, what if this was an episode, like a mini thing? Like, what if the YouTube had like 5-minute animated shorts from different animators and different styles? Like, maybe for Trickster we could get like an anime 5-minute short about him killing the first person, and then we could get like a traditional like storybook animation kind of thing, kind of like that one Santa movie Claus, I think it was called, like on Netflix. Like, imagine that for the Huntress. That would be so cool. And we could have like maybe like a pirate shanty, and it's like kind of like a music video of the Houndmaster hunting down Tarek. That would fuck so hard. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, I think an anthology type series
Mhm.
serves DBD a lot better, and I think a lot of people, as since the movie has been announced, people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, I think a TV show would be a better fit." So
Yeah.
who knows what happens there? But yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
total agreement. Definitely need more lore, especially for
Yeah.
Houndmaster.
Because I'm gonna be honest, this is totally off topic. I know the Dead by Daylight movie is gonna be like the FNAF movie, and I can't be ready for that.
No, don't say that,
Yeah, it
please.
is by Blumhouse. It
It's
is
by
by
Blum.
Blumhouse
It's the
and
same
Atomic
people.
Monster.
It's the same
I want it. I want it to be like maybe self-aware. I want it to know it's a video game movie. I want it to be like Barbarian is my best hope.
The monkey's paw curls.
That
They're gonna say
that's a
this is Dead by Daylight in the movie, unironically.
Oh, they'll say that. I mean, did you see the Until Dawn movie? Someone says that
I
we have to survive until dawn or something like that. Like,
I
I
would
mean,
die.
Until Dawn movie was ass. Like,
It was so
I know
bad.
some people liked it, but man, I mean, the Wendigos are just zombies in that movie. Like, it is
Okay,
bad.
we're getting off topic. Back to
Yeah,
the
sorry.
Houndmaster. I really love her lore. Concluding thoughts. I really love her lore. I love her character. I love her design, even if I wish it was a little more piratey. But overall, amazing lore. My only complaint: I want more. You can't give me a burger bite and then take away the burger. Let me know more about
If I could do a little satiating, like, does she need to be more piratey if her lore kind of says that she wasn't really a pirate? She was like a rich merchant's daughter. She was a
Yeah.
little more skull merchant than
Yeah,
a
but then she
pirate.
becomes a pirate. She becomes so
Yeah,
pirate.
she becomes a pirate.
She
Absolutely.
becomes a pirate, yes, but like, yeah.
But okay,
she doesn't have the
becomes a
taste
pirate
of a pirate. She doesn't have the wounds of a pirate.
because she just targets bootleggers, right? That's what
Yeah.
the lore says. Like, so she's not like targeting like government ships
No.
or other merchant ships. So yeah, I guess in a way she's not quite a
More
pirate,
like
but
mafia,
pirate
but
adjacent.
organized
Yeah.
on the ocean.
I will say one more thing that I really love is they didn't back down by giving her scars. Like, she's a pirate. She's fighting people.
She has
She's not
scars.
like pristine. I love they gave her the giant scar on her face. I
She's
was
got
kind of like
great
weirded out because I didn't really know why it was glowing orange, but I fuck with it so hard now. I don't know if it's like blight serum, if it's like entity stuff, but I fuck with the scars. I want more scars. Give her scars on her thighs. Come on.
Oh, can
Make
you
her
imagine what her
super
blighted
badass,
skin
'cause
would
she's
look like?
already super badass.
Oh,
Make her
blighted
more
Houndmaster with a like dripping
with
goopy
blighted
dog.
snug. What would blighted snug look like? That's
Oh.
scary.
That is scary.
Please
Oh,
be
God,
hazy.
I don't want to think about that. That is genuinely horrifying to me.
Yeah.
Like, that is to see what that would do to an animal. Oh my god. Let's move on.
Yeah, I think about the blighted pig and that mask, and it's got
Oh
two
my
heads.
god,
my
that was
God.
so nasty.
Yeah.
Would Snug grow 2 more heads? Is my other question.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we won't go down that.
Yeah, I'm
sorry, go
sorry.
ahead. I was getting ideas.
Concluding thoughts. I really like Houndmaster. Wish he was a little more piratey. I get why they didn't go heavy on the pirate, but I wish he was a little more piratey. I kind of want a bit more scars. A little bit more scars. Like on her hands, on her thighs. Like, I love the eye, but I want a little bit more. Because I'm going to be honest, I love women with scars. Guilty as charged. I'm going to conclude my thoughts there. Stevie, Bryson, concluding thoughts before we move on to Taurie Cain.
I'd love
I've
her.
said my-
I'm
go
gonna. Yeah, I've said my piece too.
Yeah, I've said my piece. I totally agree with you, Maddie.
Mhm.
Love her to death. Her lore
Yes.
is amazing. It's really
Yes.
good. Some of the best lore I think in games.
Exactly. That does remind me really quickly, though. Another thing I really like about her, last one I promise, she's Caribbean, which we didn't have before.
Yes.
We had no Caribbean characters. Love a Caribbean character. It's just, I don't know. I love when we get more like different like nationalities, ethnicities in the game. I just think it's really awesome. I love to see different types of horror. I think Krisu is one of my favorite design wise, like aesthetically, just because I've never seen a Krisu in media before Dead by Daylight, and I think they did so good. And I love the Hellmaster. I love it. Sorry. Anyways, we're gonna move on to Taurie Cain, our evil survivor. She is our second Scottish character. Can you guys tell me who the first one is?
I
Really,
think I
our
know.
second.
She is the second.
You
Who is
guess
the-
and I'll guess. Bryson.
All right, Bryson, you go first.
I
Who's
wouldn't
the
even
other
know who to
Scot?
get.
Before
Is it a
Taurie Cain.
survivor or a killer?
Do you
I'm
want
not
that
gonna
hint?
say because that kind of gives it away.
Do you want that hint? Tell me when you want that hint.
I would like the hint because I would have no idea.
Maybe don't
Oh,
spoil
Because
it.
I know it. It's a
Okay,
killer,
you know. Okay,
right?
okay.
Oh, it's a killer? Then they must
It's a
not have
killer,
voice
yeah.
lines.
Not
Or do
voice
they?
line.
Kind of.
Oh, damn. I don't
No,
know.
don't say
They have
kind
sound
of.
effects. They have sound effects that are distinct. That's enough hints.
Well, yeah, that's all the killers. They all have sound
Yeah.
effects that are distinct. I don't know. Just tell me.
It is the Blights.
Talbot
Oh,
Grimes.
okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he can't really have voice lines. His
He's like,
mouth is like
gurgle,
fucking
gurgle.
gaping open.
I mean, it goes like
Gurgle, gurgle. Yeah, that's it. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't know
she's
he was Scottish.
yeah,
or
but
Irish.
Taurie Cain is our second Scottish second Scottish character, and she is our first Scottish survivor. Wow, amazing! And what's really interesting about Taurie, as you guys probably know, she's a cultist to the entity, and she's technically our first evil survivor. Now, what are you guys' thoughts on Taurie Cain? We're gonna start with Bryson because I know Stevie has a lot to say.
Bryson, yes. Yeah.
Bryson, thoughts on Taurie Cain?
Absolute baddie. Her lore is like she's just so different. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, she's just so different from any other survivor we've gotten. She is, of all the original characters, she is my favorite. Like she is just so unique based on her lore. Her look is just so unique. You know, a bald head is very bold, especially for a woman. It's not often you see that in media. She is very much distinct. I mean, she is a cultist cosmetic, which I instantly bought when I picked up the chapter. I was just like, I have to get one of these. I run it all the time. She's got this alternative vibe to her that I adore. Like she's got a mullet cosmetic with like a trench coat and just a really cool kind of alt emo kind of vibe. Like
In my head, I always call that outfit the T-boy Taurie Cain outfit. You can't tell me Taurie Cain would not be what, like they, she, or like
Yes.
Taurie Cain has T-boy swag.
Yes.
I totally get you there. But yeah, she's cool, and her voice lines are really unique. You know, she's like praising to the entity, like I shouldn't be here, like let me prove myself, etc., all tying back to her amazing lore.
Stevie,
It's
lead us away. It's your Taurie Cain opinion.
She was released, and I like kind of fell in love from like selecting her in the character screen, and then she just screams at you. She's like mad that she's a survivor. She's pissed off that she's dying. She's pissed off that she's not performing well. She's so conflicted inside. She's like, there's so much wrong with her, but that she can't help, and she's doing the best she can. I love her. I want to buy all her skins. I want more skins for her. I want to play with my little dolly.
Do the little Jessa. Yeah, well, I mean, your wishes are being answered very soon. She's getting a cosmetic pretty soon, I am assuming, when 2v8 comes out.
2v8, yeah. I'm so excited. It's gonna be based on like her lore outfit from this, and I'm so excited.
Yes, it does give the vibes that's going to be based on that outfit, which we'll be talking about in the lore, ladies. Ooh, for me personally, I really like her. Dare I say, I do. I know this is going to be blasphemy. I like her more than Vittorio lore-wise, because as much as I love Vittorio, his lore is kind of shit, just a little bit. But Taurie's is very good, and I really like how it expands the Dead by Daylight lore. And I also really like how it connects to other characters, which we're going to be talking about. And I do have a confession to make at the end, but once I say it, you guys might laugh. So we're going to move on to the lore of Taurie Cain. Ooh. I got to turn off my camera because we're not going to see me going like blah, 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 blah. There we go. Taurie Cain was born and raised in a suburb outside Glasgow with her older brother, Ewan. Unusual for Scotland, the kids were homeschooled, but by all appearances seemed perfectly average. In truth, they were quite the opposite. Her parents were part of a secret society, and Taurie and Ewan were raised to be acolytes of that same clandestine cult, the Disciples of the Black Talon. This mysterious cabal has existed for centuries and worships an ancient deity that exists in another dimension. They call the deity the Black Talon and believe it is somehow helping humanity transcend mortal existence. Vincent Cain was a professor of archaeology. Rachel Cain taught anthropology. Family vacations took them all over the world. But instead of theme parks, they visited the historical sites of ancient civilizations, like the site of the world's oldest megaliths at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, where ancient cultists boiled the flesh off decapitated heads and carved mysterious symbols into the skulls. Locations like this had areas that overlapped with the Black Talon's realm, and they called those overlaps the Bleed, and believed secret knowledge and technologies hidden by ascended disciples from advanced worlds to be discovered. But the Bleed holds many dangers, both physical and psychological, and those who venture inside wear special armored hazmat suits as a defense aid against those perils, though no one really knows how much protection they actually provide. The disciples of the Black Talon built an underground complex near each Bleed they discovered, complete with living quarters, storage areas, and laboratories. When Vincent Cain entered the Bleed at Göbekli Tepe, Taurie and Ewan were mere fledglings, and when he didn't return, his wife went after him and disappeared as well. Desperate to find their parents, Taurie and Ewan snuck into a chamber but soon realized there were no hazmat suits left. There's only one of the original suits, like an old diving suit with a connecting air tube which didn't fit her. But she refused to abandon her parents and decided to enter the Bleed without a suit. Ewan was too afraid to follow. Taurie found madness in the Bleed, and savagery, and horror, blood-curdling shrieks and ferocious growls, and something slithering in and out of the shadows. She could feel the eyes of predators as they hunted her in this strange, timeless place where two realities folded into one. Struggling to keep her fear under control, she came across pieces of a bloody hazmat suit. She found no body, just chunks of hair, chunks of flesh, and steaming viscera. 100 feet away, she located her father, his suit intact but unconscious. She struggled to drag him away even as predators stalked her from the shadows. As they circled closer, her brother, Ewan, suddenly appeared in the old, oversized hazmat suit. He led the otherworldly creatures away, allowing Taurie enough time to pull their father to safety. With the screams of her brother still ringing in her ears, she emerged unscathed with her sanity intact, which amazed the disciples of the Black Talon. Her father eventually recovered from his injuries, but never again ventured into the Bleed. Taurie suffered no ill effects from her time in the Bleed, at least nothing physical, but something dark touched her heart, and she had many recurring visions of selfless disciples hunting and sacrificing victims to the Black Talon. She believed her visions were omens, and she was certain she would one day serve the Black Talon in the same way, as a disciple. Members of the cult rose through the ranks slowly. Secrets were doled out little by little as acolytes graduated from one tier to the next. But Taurie rose faster than most and was sent on missions all over the world. She located and retrieved many arcane antiquities and strange oddities, and with each new find, she unearthed more knowledge about the Black Talon. And each time she ventured into the Bleed, she felt more of its cold darkness taking hold inside of her. She liked the way it made her feel. Impervious, indestructible, unstoppable. As a trusted servant of the Black Talon, she no longer felt like prey. She felt like a predator. Taurie was single-minded in her pursuit of any knowledge that would help her serve the cult, but not everyone believed in transcendence, and some were even trying to expose the disciples of the Black Talon as a force of evil. Such doomsayers didn't understand the sacrifices needed to be made if humanity ever hoped to ascend to another plane of existence. One such enemy was a paranormal investigator and podcaster who claimed the cult was an instrument of malevolence. This logger was determined to unmask them, but she disappeared while investigating a World War II bunker high in the French Alps. Her brother Jordan blamed the disciples of the Black Talon for her disappearance and worked tirelessly to expose them to the world. As Taurie reached the highest levels of the disciples of the Black Talon, she learned their darkest secrets, like how they appeased the Black Talon with a secret ritual of torture and sacrifice before entering the Bleed. Jordan discovered one such ritual was to take place at the grand opening of a new quantum research facility and secretly taped it. He then posted the grisly video online to show the world the malignant evil at the heart of the cult. But the disciples of the Black Talon had connections everywhere, and they used their power to convince the world that this video was a fake, a mere prank among researchers and scientists. They then sent Taurie to hunt Jordan down and end his one-man crusade against them. They told her if she accomplished this, she would ascend to the inner circle of masters and one day become a pure disciple in the Black Talon's domain. Unquestioningly, and with the fanatic determination, she located Jordan and rendered him unconscious with chloroform. When he awoke, he found himself tied to a chair in an underground complex. Dressed in her ceremonial robe and mask, Taurie approached the young man with a dagger, but having never killed anyone, she hesitated. She didn't know what to say or do. A strange numbness began to crawl up her neck. Her ears, her face, her lips began to tingle. She just stood there, staring blankly at her sacrifice, wondering what was happening to her. Killing was easier in her dreams, in her visions, as a spectator, and try as she did, she could not stop her hands from trembling. And just when the masters were about to intervene, she took a deep breath, calming breath, and remembered this sacrifice would usher her into the Black Talon's domain, where she would take her rightful place among the other disciples. And so, with renewed conviction, Taurie lifted the ceremonial dagger with both hands, and just before she could plunge the glistening blade into the non-believer's chest, a cold black fog surrounded them. Everything went black. Time seemed to stand still. She heard muffled sounds and felt pressure in her ears as though she were in the bleed. At last the fog cleared, her sacrifice was gone, and she found herself in a place of perpetual night, the Black Talon's domain, not as a disciple, but as a sacrifice. And that is Taurie Cain's lore. Ladies,
Wow.
thoughts?
It's so
I mean,
good.
First of all, the ending there, not as a disciple, but
As a
as a pause sacrifice. I mean, just chef's kiss. I mean,
Chill.
oh, so well done.
Chill.
For a question that some folks might have, Maddie, I know the answer, but who is this vlogger that they're talking about in
Well,
this lore entry?
that is none other than the baddie, the absolute queen, the amazing, the I wish people played her more, Hattie Carr, who came out with the Dredge during the 7th anniversary or 6th,
Mhm.
6 or 7,
It was an anniversary chapter, yeah.
6, 7. Sorry. Anyways,
Oh God, what are we doing? Shutting it down. We're shutting this down. No, go ahead.
anyways, yes, Hattie Carr came out with the Dredge, and she's a psychic investigator, and she has a podcast just like us. But yes, she has a brother named Jordan as well, and she goes missing in the lore. I don't remember if it was actually at the World War I bunker in the Alps or if it was in a different place, but she does go missing due to entity stuff. And then Jordan's like, "Hey, you did that to my sister." And that's not
It's
British. I don't know why I'm making
interesting.
it
It's a
British.
little bit of Hattie stuff going on, but Hattie is so powerful in her lore and
Exactly.
is present in so many universes in different incarnations and forms that some of the universes in the lore she's lost her brother and she's the one who survives, and
Exactly.
other universes, namely the one where she gets taken by the entity, she disappears and her brother is the one looking for her and gets captured.
Yes. But it's just overall amazing lore connecting different characters. I love when the lore connects other characters, like with Felix and Elodie. I love their connection. I love Hattie and now Taurie. I want more of it. I want more survivors and killers interacting with each other. I want more of that rivalry, and I don't want it to be in licenses because I have things to complain. It's the fact that we got one original chapter this year. Anyways, I really like Taurie's lore. I really like how it expands upon the lore, and it kind of brings up this interesting dynamic, I guess, that being that there's now a second cult. Because in the lore, we only knew of one, which is the Black Veil, which is the one that mainly was fighting against the order that Felix's parents and Elodie's parents were part of, and by association, Felix and Elodie. But now there's this entire new organization that's just as impactful, just as strong. And now it has some questions. Like, is it the same organization under new names, Cult of the Black Talon and the Black Veil the same? Or are they competing organizations that have different goals? One sees the entity as, this is our god, he needs to take over the world. Or the other one sees it as this liberating thing that's going to make people transcend. Like, it's very interesting, very cool. And of course, there's the stuff about the bleeds that Hattie lightly turned on with her lore about being able to see them and sense them. Now with Taurie going in there, and she's got this sort of like gift / like unique ability to just, I was going to say something really bad. I was going to say raw dog it, but you get the point. It's just really interesting, especially when we see how Taurie's lore, how it's described the cult of the Black Talon, it says, oh, they're so powerful, they have connections, they are working for a greater order. Because we're really seeing this from Taurie's perspective. She legitimately believes that this cult is going to help them. But when she's about to kill Jordan, she hesitates. She's like, I've never done this before. I'm scared. But she never like questions her organization, which I think is really interesting. It really shows how she's been sort of groomed by not only her parents, but the adults around her from a really young age to believe that this is the only way to go forward. And not gonna lie, it really reminds me of cults in real life, how they sort of like
Hmm.
groom people, especially those who are younger, into believing a set of beliefs that to us seem completely asinine and are asinine because ultimately they're ways to control people to try and make them believe certain things so they can be used. That's where I'm going to end my yapping. Stevie.
I like that it's kind of a similar ending to the Houndmasters one. They kind of parallel it,
Exactly.
where Tori's first time killing a person with her bare hands and not in a dream or her subconscious or in a hallucination. The first time she has the chance to is when she's pulled away.
Exactly.
And she never gets to kind of satisfy that. She never gets to know whether or not that is what pulled her in. I
Mm-hmm.
like to think that her getting taken there is that if she was able to kill Jordan, she would have become something different. She would have changed
Yeah.
herself. She would have become the acolyte. She would have become the disciple. But the entity needed her as a as a sacrifice. The entity had kind of seen that she wasn't corruptible in the same way as all the other people who could be killers, and
Mm-hmm.
then she wasn't fit to be a disciple, so the entity needed to step in right there or it would be too late and
Yeah.
there would have to be other work done.
Yeah, and that's what I really enjoy about this doomed course chapter. It's that these two characters kind of have this sense of, is there still good in them after everything that's happened? One person has been grieving their entire life and continues to go through this thinking this is ultimately good, but they hesitate. They show in that moment, yes, Tori could be redeemed. Tori has good in her. And whereas we
Hmm.
look at the Hellmaster, we want to believe there's good in her. We want to. But after everything, the entity, the world, Molak and Tarek, and everything she's gone through, I feel like all her good has shriveled up and died because she's been just Loki tortured her whole life. So when she's about to kill Moloch, she does not hesitate. There is no sense of like goodness left in her. She's completely evil now. And I think that's really tragic and it's really interesting dynamic because in a way you could say Tori isn't, but the Hellmaster is doomed to be evil. Ah.
Yeah, I think both these stories really tell you how intelligent the entity is in terms of getting what it wants and what it feeds on, which is emotion. Like the hesitation when the entity saw that is like, oh, you hesitated. You Me taking you now as a survivor would add so much emotion to you in the trials that you were better off this way for me as the entity to consume your hope and wants and dreams to be a killer, to serve me in a different way, and but still continually be sacrificed over and over again. And then with the Houndmaster and with other killers in the past, taking them right before they get their revenge or right before they get what they want, and but then kind of throwing salt in the wound in the entity's realm and like, oh, you could have this, or giving them white eyes or whatever, making them see what they want and then taking that away from them at the end of the trial. Like, it's fueling the fire that it feeds off of in terms of emotions. And so it really shows you how well it analyzes these people's thoughts and feelings and their actions and really takes them at the right moment to get the most out of them that they can. So I found, I mean, this story is just phenomenal. Like
Yes.
it's incredible how they've crafted and weaved these two stories together. I mean, they're not maybe directly connected, but they're very much paralleled to
Yes.
each other. And so I really, really admire that.
Exactly. Like the lore writers locked the fuck in for these stories. I'm so happy
Mhm.
because Tori and the Hellmaster Sally, I guess, didn't sell really well, sadly, internally, like according to their statistics. So it's just
Mhm.
really nice that at least they have this amazing lore. And I just, as a lore nerd, I want more of these two. I feel like they have so much potential because we gotten stuff for like Dredge. We got like a tiny little bit for Unknown and Sable. Like I mean, like tiny. And when I mean tiny, I mean shop descriptions of cosmetics. That's about the crumbs we're talking about because they have nothing
Yeah.
else. But like, there's so much good lore, so much stuff about them I want to know more about. Like, I want to know about Houndmaster's world. I want to know about the world with Taurie and Felix and Hadi, and I want more. And also, not gonna lie, someone on Twitter made ship art of like Toxic Fury, Hadi, and Taurie. I'm not gonna lie,
It's
I
so
saw
good.
that.
It's
I
so
ship
good.
it.
It's from the winner of the community cosmetic for her from this year, the Weathering Trek
That's
cosmetic.
amazing. I knew they were based. I knew they were based. I knew they were amazing.
No, if you're an artist, you're drawing so much stuff on the side that fills those little brain worms.
Yeah.
It's really good art. I wish I could remember. It's something Tooth on Twitter.
Yes.
They're also on Instagram as well.
Yes.
Go check them out.
Please do.
They have wonderful art.
They have Yuri of Hadi and Taurie. Come on.
Yeah, I want them to meet in the fog, and I want them to talk about things, and I want them to get over it, and I want them to commiserate, and be
And
like,
then
no,
kiss.
Jordan's still alive. And then he has like a backstory where he escapes, and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
There's
good fan fiction on AO for you. Don't worry. There's good fan fiction on AO.
there is like they released when Taurie and Houndmaster released. They did have a trailer of Taurie walking up to Hattie, who's hooked,
He's like, yeah.
and she's just looking up at her. I think she maybe puts her hand up on her leg or something and
She
looks
puts on
up
the
at her.
hook. She's checking out the hook. She's like, oh my goodness, it's the end.
Yeah, like she's almost like admiring Hattie on the hook. It's
Yeah.
really,
wasn't Meg.
if you've not
Might
seen
have
it,
been
check
Meg.
it out. But
It might have been Meg.
oh, was it
Actually,
Meg?
might
Okay,
be,
I thought it was Hattie, but okay, yeah, it would make sense if it were Meg because
Yeah.
they usually just use Meg.
I will
or,
say
or
though,
Dwight.
it's weird they showed like a swamp kind of like bayou map in the trailer, and then we never got that. They got a
Well,
winter map.
Also, we get a really cool background lobby for that, where it's a mansion and it's like an estate essentially in the
Exactly.
woods. It's stunning,
Yes.
and why did we not get like a swamp like variant
Yeah.
with it? Like give us like a shipwreck or something. Like we do have
So
boats
we already
on,
have a
on
shipwreck
swamp,
on Swamp,
but
uh,
they're stinky kind of. But
It's-
whatever.
I mean, that
It's
whole
different,
realm needs an update. It's the only one that didn't get updated in the
yeah,
their
it
realm
does.
thing they did, and I don't know why. Like, was the swamp that fucked? Are they that?
I don't know.
it needs touching up. I'll
It
admit.
does.
Yeah,
Mm.
the fact that hatch can spawn on the edges, or even a generator can spawn on the edge, like that map used to be huge, and that's kind of that. For those who don't know, the map used to be really big, and so they reduced the size. That's why hatch can spawn on the edges, and why
Yes.
the gen can spawn on the
Right.
wall.
We are getting a little off topic. Let's talk about our final thoughts on Taurie Cain, and then we'll be moving on to the end of the show, sadly.
Taurie Cain. I need to see more of her. I need to read more of her. They haven't added lore for them, and it's so disgusting because this is a character who has gone on adventures, has gone all around the world, has gone into the entity's realm beforehand, and the way they describe it with like freakish monsters and weird environments.
She didn't go into the entity's realm. She went into a
You're right.
bleed.
Into a
Which is kind of
bleed,
like half
which right, you're right. It's not the same. I got to admit, it's a combination of our world and maybe the entity, or maybe just the edges of what it can create.
Exactly.
So it's interesting. It's unresolved.
Bryson?
Yeah, superb character backstory. Just a wonderful visually. You can see the history on Taurie with her tattoos and through her cosmetics, like the Alkalite outfit, which is like her cultist fit. So amazing concept overall, and I just really wish this chapter performed better. But I guess a lot of people thought not worth my time, like with Houndmaster's power not being as good as what they wanted it to be, or I guess they're not as hot as what they want it to be. But yeah, these characters are phenomenal lore wise and have really interesting perks too. Like I know we didn't get any perks, but like their perks are like Taurie can take hooks from other people.
Yes,
Like
shoulder the burden.
it's just like their perks, like even also play into their lore and such. So
Yeah.
just really, really, really cool stuff. And they knocked this one out of the park.
It's just so good. Well, it's time to talk about the end of the episode because we're done. That's everything. So,
Yeah.
Bryson, I think you have to wish everyone a thank you.
Yeah.
And, bye-bye.
I greatly appreciate your time, Lore Keeper. Thank you so much, Maddie. You're always
Thank you, Maddie.
you the way you read we're reading through lore entries, amazing, always super well done. Thank you so much for that.
Captivating.
Oh my god, I'm
Oh
blushing.
yeah, like I read these earlier today, but I followed along, and man, they are just you do an exceptional job with your tone and reflections and stuff. So amazing job. Thank you so much, Maddie, for taking us through that. Thank you, Stevie. Listeners, viewers, thank you so much for listening or watching. We hope you enjoy this video or this podcast, wherever you listen or watch.
Yeah.
Be sure to fill out the survey if you want to enter and try to win that $30 gift card. It is in the description of the episode. Please check that out. Follow us on your socials, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You should also send us an email or join our Discord server if you want to interact with us directly or ask a question or play games with us, whatever. You can find us all there. It's in the description of the episode. And share the podcast with friends or family members or
your
anyone you'd
frenemy.
like. We greatly appreciate it. Your frenemy too. People you hate.
Yeah, your
it's
toxic
whatever.
Yuri
Whatever you
love
want.
interest who
Your
you both
toxic Yuri love
chase each
interest.
other around
There
the
you
world.
go.
Share it with them.
Bring this to
There
your
you go.
toy
So-
or Haru.
Yes. So thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, listeners and viewers. And we'll see you in the fog next week.